everyone, I am right at the end of my Small Victories postcard book. This is the very last picture and I thought I would do it with you. I thought it would be nice. It's a very sweet little picture, as of course Johanna's always are. I'm actually going to start under the water. I'm using my Staedtler Ergosoft pencils. It's coming a bit closer now. Although this is from the postcard book, it is the same picture as the one in the main book. So if you want to colour along in your main book, if you don't have the postcards, you absolutely can. I'm going to make a start with this darker grey colour. This is number 8. And I'm going to do the little stones at the bottom. And I'm just going to try to colour them a little darker on the edge. And then make them a little lighter towards the middle. You could change pencil to the light grey for the centre part. I actually find it easier not to do that, to use the same colour all the time. It seems to make the it easier for me to get a lighter and darker, more sort of, what am I trying to say, a more gradual shade, I suppose. So that is that's my reasoning, but you can always switch if you find that easier. It does make them a little bit darker than it would if I used a little bit of pale colour, but I think it's okay if you've got a larger area to colour. So although these although the book is small, I think the picture is slightly bigger in the book than on the postcards. So you might have a little bit more space, but it's not necessary if you want to just, you know, do them quite dark. Now if you're using Staedtler Design Journey, excuse me, Design Journey pencils, you'll be able to also colour along with the same numbers. All of the ones from the Ergos are in the Design Journey. And if you're colouring along with any other Staedtlers, again, you could probably match. It's a bit tricky with the Norris, for example. They don't have the numbers on, so you just have to sort of guess. But I'm sure you can manage. I also have comparison charts to other brands from Staedtler, so you can do that if that's better for you, and look at the chart and choose something from a different brand. There we go. I'm hoping the sun doesn't pop out from behind the clouds so that I can leave my blind open, but we'll see. I haven't got my lamp on. I might just pop it on. It will take a minute to adjust. Because it's quite bright, I sort of forgot. But then if I do have to shut the blind, it's gonna be a bit odd without a lamp on. It'll be a bit dark. So we have this narwhal now. Interesting little tiny story about narwhals. I've never seen one, by the way. Not in real, but most of us haven't seen lots of sea creatures, I guess, unless we go to aquariums and things. Not many of us will be diving and looking. But when I was a child, I had a placemat at this table. My mum had a, it was a sort of laminated placemat, a laminated sheet sort of thing, which she'd bought for me so that I didn't spill my food all over the table. I'm sure a lot of us do that for our children. I didn't used to have placemats for my children, but I certainly had a wipeable cloth. This is 43, which is a sort of peachy colour. I'm going to use it on this shell, but only as a base, so don't go pressing too hard. Just a little bit. Then I'm going to get another colour on it as well. I always find it hard to know what to do. What to do with shells, but I'm going to use this pink, this 20, and add a little bit more to it. I know it's quite small. And what I'm going to do is on each edge, and do a bit of colour coming out from the line, just sort of fading it across a bit. It's a bit small, isn't it, to really see what I'm doing. And then I'm going to go back to the apricot colour and just go back over the top of it. Yeah, anyway, had this placemat and it had an alphabet of animals. So I can't remember any of the animals except there was a zebra for Z. I mean, it's probably common sense rather than memory, to be honest. Now we have this sort of seagrass we're going to do next. And I'm going to just do this nice bright number 50. Okay. I'm just going to block it in, so I'm just going to start from one end, work along. So you can just do the same thing if you want to. And for N, it had narwhal. Okay, here's our narwhal. And my mum told me that it was a made-up animal and it didn't exist. So I grew up thinking that a narwhal was a fictional creature. But now I believe that it does exist. But it was quite interesting that she thought that. I mean, it is rather unusual because I suspect because of the horn, it looks so much like a unicorn in the sense, well, hardly. I mean, there's no legs. Well, anyway, not really, but not really at all. I'm talking nonsense. It doesn't look like a unicorn, but maybe the fact that it's got a horn. Just looking down here for where these grasses start, I think that's a bit there and here. Maybe that's why she thought that. I don't know. But it was quite interesting. But I remember there was no... The X was an X-ray fish. The Y must have been a yak. I don't know. There was one missing completely. But I can't remember which one it was. Oh, we've missed a pebble. Can you see in there? I'm just going to do that. There we go. So, yeah, it was that. So that's a little story for you. But it was interesting. But I remember the mats, they must have been just a laminated sheet because the corners sort of peeled open. You know, laminates do that eventually. I remember it having to be thrown away. It's very sad. My lovely little thing. But anyway, it saved my mother's table. I remember that table. It was really clever. It had a sort of bit in, well actually her current table does too, had a bit in the middle that you could pull. It was basically two pieces together and you could open it out, and inside was a little bit that you would turn and open and it would put another piece in, so it would make the table bigger. It's like magic. Plants. I think I might stick with greens. I don't always when I'm doing seaweeds, but I think I will. So here's 52. I'm just going to use it on this one. It's a nice, look how nice and long this one is. I pinched it off my husband. He used to use Ergos for his art, and then he switched to watercolour because it was quicker and he found it easier. But so he bought loads of spare Ergos in his favourite colours, and unfortunately they're not my favourite colours, but this one was handy. I switched out my pretty short one. It had gone all sticky and short and icky, and I got a new one. Unfortunately, some of my favourite one he doesn't have any of. This one here, I think I'm going to do in my favourite one. 56. Look how small and sad. But anyway, although Staedtler told me they were stopping making Ergos, I think you can still get them at the minute. But I'm just sort of using mine up, and then I'm going to switch to Design Journey, because although they're not quite as soft, that's what I thought they were available open stock and so would be much better. They're not. What colours are Narwhal? I think I'm going to use, I'm just going to make it up because I've got no idea. So I'm going to use the light grey, whoops, the number 80 for his sort of belly first. I'm going to do that. I'm going to put quite a light layer down, as even as I can, which is probably not very even, but you know. So anyway, so I just decided I'd go with the Design Journey because they've got a lot more colours. See, I'm going to make it darker just on the edge. They've got a 72 set, so you've got a much bigger range of colours, so that's what I decided to Why am I not using them today? It's a good question. Why am I asking myself these questions? Awkward questions. I just figured that I just fancied using a smaller set, you know, and there's only 36 in my tin of Ergosoft. There we go. Now I'm thinking a sort of grey blue is the colour I would say they are. Why? I don't know. So I'm going to use this 63 to do the top body part. I'm just going to again try and do it in a sort of lightish layer, see what happens. Now for our C, I'm a bit stuck because if I was using my Design Journey or any other set of pencils, I would use like a light green. So if I had polys, I'd use a light phthalo green, maybe in combination with a light cobalt turquoise or something. We don't have that sort of colour in this set. We do have a turquoisey-ish one. I'm going to have to just go with that. And I hope it's not too similar to this blue. Which I've got an idea of what I can do to make sure it isn't too similar to this blue. And I want to do that colour. I bet it doesn't look like this at all. But, you know, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my grey and I'm going to mix it into this blue so that we get a more of a grey blue rather than just a blue, and it will sort of match in a bit better with his tummy, I think. Sort of dull it down. It makes it look a bit dirty, to be honest, which wasn't what I was going for. I can hear noise outside. I doubt you can hear, it's not that loud. This morning I saw a screeching noise, and there's a there was a garage at the end of our road. They would sort of do car MOTs and car sales, mainly sales, and it's up for let or sale. At the moment the building is empty. I think the company went out of business. And he looks dirty, doesn't he? I'm going to put another layer of the blue back on top. I think we can make it look a little bit more bright. Anyway, and there, when I walked past this morning, they had dug a big hole near the building, and I could see there was a hole, but a man walked into the hole and he went down and he just vanished. It was such a deep hole. Oh my goodness, where are you going? You're down to the bottom of the earth. So I don't know what they're doing. There were utility services there the other day, so they're obviously getting it ready for something. So whether they're just having to make it better for sale and rent, or whether someone's actually going in there, I do not know. It's always interesting. I'm such, as well you might know if you listen to me often enough, I'm such a nosy person. I just want to know what's going on, but I'm not nosy enough to go up and ask them. I'm just doing this edge a little bit darker because I sort of missed. There we go. Now I've done a little bit on this horn. I don't want that there. So I'm just going to find my eraser, which I dropped on the floor yesterday and couldn't find for ages, but I found it now. So there we go. Right. Yeah, I like him now. Now our water, let's do that next. So this is my watercolour 35. I'm going to try doing it quite lightly and see. Oh, actually it does, it's such a different colour to the blue. Oh, that's perfect. I'm happy. I'm going to fill in all the water next. It's nice and relaxing, just fill in one colour, really simply. I know I haven't done the key, I haven't done this horn. I haven't decided what colour to do it yet, which is why I'm doing something else. It's how I work when I'm colouring, is if I can't think of a colour, I don't stop and ponder. I move on to another one, and I can carry on with what I'm doing while I'm thinking. And I know colouring is supposed to be like mindful, you're not supposed to think. If you're thinking about the colouring, that's fine. It's taking your mind off anything else you might want to not be thinking about. You know. Anyway, let's fill this in. Yeah, I'm sad to be finishing this book in a way. There's another stone that I missed. this postcard book, but when I have finished I will share a flip through with you. Now we've done about 15 minutes on this, and because it's going to be a morning video, I don't want it to be hugely long, but I'm not going to stop just in the middle of the sea, but I usually do about 15-20 minutes in the morning, so I think I might finish the sea and then make that it. It's very difficult to predict how long the rest is going to take, and it might be 3 videos I suppose. I don't want to rush it. It might feel to you like I'm going quite fast, I am, but I'm not rushing. This is just me being my normal speed. Now with the water I can try and colour it that way. It's really hard sometimes to do that when you've got things to colour around. Just do your best. You might find it easier if you move your book a little bit. And by the way, I've got another book under here, you can see. It's the same size, it's another Johanna postcard book, just so that I got something to lean on, because doing this very last one, there's nothing under the page, so it's a little bit difficult to do without leaning on a book. You can of course tear the postcard out. I mean, I will eventually, but I thought I would leave them in and do a flip through, and then I'll take them out and send them to people. It's nice having a little supply. I'm trying to think what to do with it. I'm going to colour over this. I'm going to colour right over this, and then I'm going to do something with it after. Yeah, it's nice having a supply of coloured postcards, so you can use them as thank you letters, as little notes and things. If you're sending something out to someone, you can pop it in with it as a little gift. You know, you can use them as birthday cards, greetings cards. It's really nice just having a few around. So that is always good. Oh, my son's just started streaming. I can hear him chattering. It's Saturday. He's always streams on a Saturday after lunch. So he's doing that. My other son was going to stream today, but we made him come out to town with us instead, because my husband has put his back out a few times this week. He seems to have to massage it back. He has what's called back mice, and it's a little thing. If he twists and lifts, it sort of pops out, and he can sometimes just massage it back in, which is what he's been able to do this week, which is rather good. And but I didn't want him carrying too much shopping, so one of my sons was up and the other one wasn't, so I asked him to come and help, and he agreed. It meant he got to choose a snack while we were out, and sorry, I've got a bit of cramp in my fingers from the angle. I do these, save my hand hurting. It's trying to colour around the fish, it's quite awkward. So we usually get him like a samosa or something from the Indian snack store, but he picked pakoras instead. Apparently he said they were cauliflower and spinach, but he really liked them. So that was good, but they didn't have any warm ones, so you had to wait for them to be cooked, but that was okay. We were just nattering with the guy and it was quiet. So, but we asked for 2 and they gave us 3, which was very kind. I think they misheard. One of the chaps who works on the store is deaf, completely deaf. But we usually use sign language-ish, not proper sign language, just like putting 1 or 2 fingers up. That sounds very rude. If you're British, I don't know if all countries do that. Now that's a little bit uneven, so I'm just going to do a little bit more bits and pieces on here. So to sort of tell him how many you want, sort of thing. But the other guy who owns the stall is always there with him, so he can help him out. But he's very good at lip reading, actually. but my husband's diction is poor. That makes it tricky. But anyway, it's nice. So we also bought some bread. Had some for lunch. It's delicious. Now we've got. See, when I coloured this the first time, I thought these were stones. I'm now thinking they're not. They're bubbles. What I'm going to do is try something a little bit different and then finish. I'm going to use this 38, which is the sea green, and I'm going to colour all these circles and things with this. So with these ones, which I think is sea foam, I'm just going to try to fade it towards the bottom. And it looks a very good colour on top of the other one. And when you colour it not on top of it, it doesn't look this colour. I think it's working very nicely. I'm pleased with it anyway. Now I will use some white pen at the end to get a different look to the whole thing, but I think it's probably safer if I don't do that right now, because I'm only going to smudge it. So we'll leave it right to the end, because I'm going to be recording the second part of this straight after. So yeah, okay. Trying to think about these circles. Yeah, why are they on a line? I don't know. I'm just going to colour them in. You don't have to do it this way if you don't want to, but I'm just trying something, you know, seeing how it's going to turn out. And I want them to be a different colour, because obviously they've been drawn to stand out. So now we'll do the fish. I realise I haven't done them. We'll do them next time. What's happened to my voice? My voice have got cold, so I don't know whether something's interfering. I don't feel like I've got cold though. Just feel like my voice has gone off somewhere on holiday or something, you know. Right. Just remembered I've got to roast a load of veg for my husband tonight or tomorrow night. Probably I'll have to do it tonight, because tomorrow night we always have the same meal on a Sunday night. Right, I'm going to stop there and finish up. I know I haven't done the horn. I'm going to think about it in between. When I come back tomorrow's video, I will hopefully have thought of something to do. So there is our sort of first bit done. Whoops, there we go. So yes, fairly short, but that's okay. We'll come back and do the rest tomorrow. Yeah, I need to, anyway, I will come back tomorrow and do it. I'm keep noticing bits that need doing. So thank you for watching today. Have a super day and happy colouring.